too.
Whoa, splitting it.
Almost wrecked in the first couple seconds.
If you guys are just joining us, thank you, first of all.
Almost wrecked
Pursuit,
instantly.
oddly enough. Well, actually, it's not so odd. Take a look at this.
And we got a Stu Mundell, woo, because he was the first one on top of it, exclusive. Two-wheel Dodge Charger.
If you guys are local, you know where that is. Right now, you can clearly see it. We put up the little bit of a map, and we made our way onto the 101 freeway. We just picked it up over in the Echo Park area.
All right.
A little bit there.
Where are we? Hollywood.
Don't know if that's hair.
Coming off Santa Monica Boulevard, CA2. Where are we?
Maybe he's got a scarf. No, it's not a scarf. An ascot. He's wearing an ascot. You know, I don't want to poke too much fun at this because this motorcycle.
Let me get these tweets out. I'll be right with you.
We've seen these.
It is a matinee chase.
Unfortunate ends very quickly. Venture to say that's the wrong side of the road.
All right.
I don't care what.
Boogity. Let's go chasing everybody. Hollywood 101, 11:53 a.m. matinee day chase.
It is busy out here.
Busy with Stu Mundell in the sky. That is a green and yellow helicopter above. That is the Sheriff's Department. 101 southbound. Sky Fox in the air.
The sheriff's ship is over, and even though we're in LAPD area, and this is a
two-star chase.
CHP following
Helicopters are in.
Sounded like they had a.
And we'll make it 3 because of the reckless. I mean, we are splitting vehicles here at 70 miles an hour in standstill traffic on the 101. There are no units in pursuit, but there is a Sheriff's Department helicopter overhead. Obviously, the Sheriff's Department cannot stay attached to this chase and this traffic with this two-wheel Dodge Charger doing just this.
You know, these are the calls that law enforcement
doing these type of maneuvers, man.
This is one of the ones also where I'd love to.
All it takes is one person switching lanes, and this dude's day and life is likely over.
I really can't let my eyes off this because this really is work. That motorcycle moving very, very quickly, and it is hard to.
Yeah, all it takes.
Keep that shot frame.
All it takes is one.
Where this guy is going.
One car switching lanes. Not seeing this. Yeah, that looks like hair coming out the back.
For no reason at all. Anyways, you can see that bike clearly a little bit tricked out. Either that or this person really knows his motorcycles. Whoa!
Oh my
God! A little hard front end braking there, dipping down.
There is no brake pads on these things. No blowing out the brake pads. Just instant death as we swerve around, getting off the 101.
Watching this. There was a lot of crazy moves there. That rider might be very experienced, but again, kind of pushing it to the limit.
We are in Silver Lake Boulevard here in Westlake. Pretty popular area in the eastern part of, it's not East LA. What do you call Westlake? It's not downtown. It's like northwest downtown LA.
Tried that a couple times in my car. Couldn't do it as well as he can right there on that bike. Continuing back out there, making his way. Again, you see it.
We have seen a Sheriff's Department helicopter overhead, but obviously, once again, if you're just joining us, units not in pursuit.
Original one is going to be speed. What's going on right now? Evading law enforcement. It's a motorcycle. What are they going to do? You're going to get a cruiser behind it?
Ground units not in pursuit, I should say. Obviously, unless they have their own two-wheel Dodge Charger vehicles. Can you imagine a K9 unit on two wheels?
Other than listening to me yammer. But I'm wondering if the sheriff's ship has departed or stopped following it. Yeah, he's still there, apparently. But they're just keeping an eye on it.
That is the sweet, sweet sounds of Stu Mundell in Sky Fox. It is early enough that we have a Stu chase. Hopefully he doesn't lose it.
East Cap territory. It was in CHPs for a while. Who's gonna take it? You know, and again, I'm looking at it, and the numbers, 70-something miles an hour. Can you get a ticket for that? Sure you can. But usually when you're going 70, you're not weaving through a bunch of cars going 30. Yeah, now he's picking it back up to 100 miles an hour. That bike is, I'm just going to say nifty. I almost want to say it's a Honda. I'm sure a lot of people...
Dodge makes that.
School me. But,
you ever seen Batman where the motorcycle comes out of the Batmobile?
Very quickly. This rider clearly...
Every Dodge Charger has one of these.
just one little mistake out here. This is not a racetrack. You just don't want to see anything. I don't want to see anything happen to him. Live where?
Live on the internet, Stu.
Oh, live now. Okay.
Will Stu lose this person? Yes or no?
Fox Channel. If you guys are just joining us, this is not a pursuit. I got to say it, not a pursuit. This is a motorcyclist, and they kind of just let it go.
Running from his own
Still
demons.
driving very erratically.
We're on side streets, though. Now we're in Figueroa, downtown.
Dylan, my pilot today at Sky Fox, on the tiller. And this is one of those ones that's very difficult to keep an eye on it. Dylan,
Look at these speeds, man. This is in the middle of downtown where we were yesterday with all sorts of traffic. Figueroa on 2nd, headed towards that 7th Street Metro Station. Staples Center coming up here very quickly.
They ventured to just kind of let it go. The original want just
Downtown LA, just a complete zombie apocalypse.
Continuing to drive very, very fast. Making a lot of
It is GTA down there every second of the day. Getting back on what looks like a Harbor Freeway, which would be a 110, either northbound or southbound.
You know, it's LA traffic, about 30 miles an hour. He was pushing 70 and getting up into the 90s at a couple of moments.
Everyone subscribing to the channel, much appreciated as we continue on. This is obviously not a ground unit pursuit, but we've seen green and yellow choppers overhead. That is your sheriff's department. Massive interchange coming up here. 110 northbound with some... Don't lose it, Stu.
Okay, there he is.
That looks like a 5.
Looks like he's going back onto the 101. No, he's
5,
101,
Stu.
But we're not going into Hollywood.
There's your sheriff's department helicopter. This is not a ground unit pursuit, but it is being tracked in the air. Massive rates of speed here. 101 northbound.
Very, very quickly. I'm halfway. You know, it's one of those ones. I can't really say. Am I happy that he's back on the freeway because we can keep a better eye on him? But again, he's touching those triple digits on that motorcycle. It seems
110
like
in the 101 downtown.
If you haven't heard me before, this is not a race.
Man, your adrenaline's got to be pumping.
One little mistake.
One little mistake and it's all over.
It just become very tragic.
There's no mulligans, no second chances with these rates of speed. 101 on the 101. Damn right, Chef Daddy.
Nobody wants to see anybody get hurt. I definitely don't want to see it, and I don't want to put it on television like that. But again, you can see it right now. This vehicle is still continuing to evade speeds. I don't have to call them out. You can read them. Looks like we're going to be transitioning again. And it looks like we're going to be heading into the Boyle Heights area. If you guys are local, you know it. Because I know News Now, you guys are national. Again, this is going to be one of those, could be very, very busy spots. A lot of traffic in this area. Usually I'm going to go a little wider. Promise I won't lose it. It seems pretty open right there. My pilot Dylan just actually listening, and I appreciate it. Helping us
Speaking
out
to his insecurities.
A lot of options out
He's
here.
been losing chases a lot lately. We're getting off the freeway once again.
This might be one of the ones again. We've seen these riders in the past. They'll find a parking garage. They'll find an area underneath some trees. They're not unknowledgeable of the fact that they're being followed by a helicopter, not just
No, too early for the hot tub. This would have been tennis time if I didn't play yesterday. I usually play at noon. Just barreling through intersections here. Lord knows every time we approach one of them, it better be a green light.
Our way across the First Street Bridge, not as famous as the Sixth Street Bridge, but still an iconic bridge out here in the Los Angeles area. Going to be making his way into the Arts District area. We're going to keep an eye on it, but again, just right now, this rider really, truly just running from his own demons. No cars behind him. The helicopter keeping
There an echo in here?
calling out locations.
Great
But
minds.
again, nobody's really taking the okay. We're going to get in a position. We're going to throw out some spike strips. They're just keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, if you spike strip this
Coming up
person,
down
it
Alameda, that's
might
gonna be
kill
the
him.
next Major, and you know, he's in the middle lanes, and this is going to be one of those ones too, where you could go north or south. But there's a lot of parking garages out here. There's a lot of shopping areas out here. There's a lot of places.
There goes that sheriff's. Don't. Stu says this is not a pursuit. It's not it's not a ground pursuit. We have seen that same sheriff's department helicopter flying in front of Sky Fox multiple times now, so they are absolutely tracking this thing.
Maybe more correct. I've been wrong.
We are not just joyriding around.
And I might be wrong right now, but I can tell you, very dangerous pursuit as this motorcycle continues to make these high-speed moves out here on these surface streets near some freeways. I understand California Highway Patrol might, and I don't know.
Do you remember the two-wheel chase where the cop just tackled the guy and kicked the bike over? That was a little while ago, but that was a good one.
Keep an eye on
These
it.
two-wheel Dodge Charger chases, they either let them go because they're going so fast and the helicopter can't keep up, or it's something funny like that. We haven't had a
close to 100
traumatic
miles an hour,
ending,
and this is
thankfully, to a two-wheel chase yet.
tragic way. Right now, though, this bike kind of slowing down a little bit. Maybe this person, the adrenaline might be wearing off.
He was we called that the human pit, right?
Can I leave this bike?
Yeah, I remember
Can
that
get
chase.
out of this?
That was LA,
We've
not
seen
Florida,
these
right?
things where they've made phone calls, and yes,
Oh, we're in the bike lane, technically. I guess he's allowed to be in there.
Phone calls up. It looks like
Oh,
he's
no.
slowing down. Let's see where he goes right there. Ooh, doo.
Hanging
Yeah,
out
see those
under the
brakes.
overpass.
So now he's underneath San Mateo Bridge.
Potential Paul Walker challenge going on here.
Eye out. Let me see. Let me
Could be
go
switching
through the wire
vehicles.
because he might be. Oh, there he is.
Nope,
he is.
popped
Back
out. Okay.
Back out again. And continuing on. But, you know, we've seen in the past where they've made phone calls, they've had friends come pick them up, lots of things like that. You know, with the bike, might be able to do the same thing. Might be able to find a spot, take off the jacket, take off the helmet, have one of his friends pick him up and drive away. Later on, try to get the bike. But this is one of those ones again. This is downtown Los Angeles, and the pursuit continues. But really, is it a pursuit or a following? That's really up to you guys.
Thanks, Stu. Intersection.
Busy intersection.
Oh, God.
Where'd he go?
Stu.
You turned up. There he is.
Wrong side of the road. Wrong side of the road. Yike, Chihuahua, caramba.
We're going to do a little pirouette with the camera. Hope everybody is taking their Dramamine out there. Here we go. And continuing
Stu
on.
does get a little-
The camera before I really push in.
He goes down his little
And, yep,
pathways of thought, and then he ends up losing the chase sometimes. He's the one operating the camera here.
You know, looks like this rider does
Back
know
on the
this
freeway.
pretty well. Looks like we're getting back onto the freeway. And this is one of the ones again. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? We've seen him on the freeway making those really high-speed maneuvers around vehicles. Nobody wants to see that. It's one of those ones. Every time he gets really close or splits the lanes, you get panicky. You don't know. That driver might be like, oh, let me change lanes, and he doesn't know there's a motorcycle coming up on him at 80, maybe 100 miles an hour.
Respect the
those
star
second moves,
ratings.
That's where it all could go
2-star
wrong.
chase.
There you go. The bike's really starting to open up again. You can read it right there. We're going to get back onto the south.
Choppers in and out.
This
No
started
ground
off
units in
with,
pursuit. We are very, oh my God, I thought he was about to run into the back. It was just the shadow of one of those pursuit trees. Back up to 100 plus miles an hour here as we're flying on the 5. It's going to open up, especially as we get away from downtown.
He's kind of going away from that area. That doesn't mean that maybe he was up there.
Right, 1 star per wheel.
Who knows? And he lives out to the south. I'm wondering if they do have information on.
Stu says no one wants to watch this. There's 19,000 concurrents watching this in the Fox 11 YouTube channel.
We know where this person lives.
Concurrents.
We'll just
No one pulls numbers like that besides top streamers.
What were you doing out there?
People want police chases. Give the people what they want.
Because a lot of these sport bikes, they like to,
We've seen it up to ABC 7 has had 100,000 concurrents once.
They are mounted, they are legally there, but are they easily visible? Probably not. They're usually mounted behind that tire, and you can't really see them. So we just don't
Yes,
know.
just
I
a
don't have
measly
that information
1,500
right
here
now.
in Birds in the Air. We are the side stream, second screen experience stream, the same way that Monday Night Football has the Manning cast. We are the Manning cast of police chases. We're that alternate channel for additional commentary.
That this could come to an end very, very quickly. I always wonder
Ali,
myself,
SSBM, appreciate your subscription to the channel, my friend. Antarctica Nation passport on its way.
I don't understand.
This is one of the rare two-wheel Dodge Charger chases. We are on the 5 southbound, headed towards Southgate. You guys know what's coming up after Southgate. We're getting there very quickly, but I would like to welcome you and yours to Downey, California. here momentarily. The mecca of police chases. Drop your D's in the chat. We are on the verge of Downey, Norwalk. Said it once, I'll say it again. If you're ever looking for a vacation, you enjoy police chases, come on over to Los Angeles, California. Fly into LAX. Instead of going to Disneyland and seeing the Hollywood sign and Griffith Observatory, there'll be plenty of Laker games for you to choose from. What you should do is grab a lawn chair, go to Downey, sit on the corner of California Avenue and Downey Boulevard, off the 710, off the 5. Just like you're seeing right now, you are guaranteed to see yourself a police chase go by. Some people like to bird watch, some people like to go hiking. You watching this stream, come on down to Downey. Downey Tourism Board welcomes you as police chases occur here multiple times a day and all roads lead to Downey.
So, and my pilot's just saying that sometimes they do a little bit of a, hey, you know, this and this and this and this, but they really didn't do that on the handoff. But then again, the sheriff was handing to the California
different types of bird watch, you're right.
all their information.
We are in between lanes 1 and 2 here on the 710. Southbound is a car was merging, and I told you all it takes is one car merging, not seeing one of those Dodge Chargers coming across a lane and not seeing this guy doing 100 miles an hour in traffic. And that was awfully close. One little T-bone, and this person will go flying.
Look at that. See, some of these people down there, some of those drivers.
Right. See yourself on the Skywab stream.
They saw something in their rearview mirror. They did move out of the way, letting that bike pass. It is a courtesy. I do it. I really do. Every time I hear a motorcycle coming, I check my mirrors, and you know, if we're in stop traffic, I give them a little room. Look at that Tesla. Almost went into the wall trying to get away from it. Again, though, this bike, you can see those speeds, and it's one of those ones. He is speeding, but look how quick he's going by all these other cars. That right there is the issue. And these speeds,
yeah, 95.
Continue to climb.
In between lanes 1 and 2, he's in like lane 1A.
Yeah, those bikes can go pretty much.
Gas is going to be an issue though, especially at these speeds.
Even they get about what a car would get, even at those high speeds like that. So this could go on for quite some time. The helicopter, that CHP helicopter, I would venture to say they probably left or got out here with.
Oh, let's see that Dodge Charger swerve out of the way. There are a lot of these are starting to swerve. They're noticing this guy flying up from behind him.
But that rider continues to make.
Could be a female. Who knows?
High-speed maneuvers and continues on the freeway. How do they stop this? That is the big question, and a lot of these motorcycle riders, they kind of know that as well. It's one of those, they like to play those cat and mouse games. And sometimes
We have t-shirts, heck with Devin. We have Downey t-shirts, top left corner of your screen, birdsintheair.com. Multiple Downey t-shirts for your choosing.
The maneuvers seem to be a little less. Earlier on, I don't know if we were with you guys already, when we were on the 101, there was some hard braking, front braking that really kind of worried me. That didn't seem like a very professional move, but right now, this all seems to be like this person is comfortable at these.
Oh, look at that look back. Like Sha'Carri Richardson in Paris. One-handed as we split these two Dodge Chargers at 100 miles an hour. Nonchalant look back with one hand.
We want to see the bike a little better and what's going on there. We won't stay this tight for the entire ride, but you can riding with one arm. So definitely starting to see a little fatigue in that rider. Doing a lot of crazy moves. There's no doubt about it. So maybe this is one of the reasons why we're only going 80 miles an hour right
Insane.
now.
Usain bolting down the 710. 710. Crossing Imperial Highway. Downey coming up.
They're not going to just let this go. Their helicopter.
How's the shirt quality, Wob? Ask anyone that's bottom. Our shirt quality is the one thing I think that everyone unanimously agrees upon. It's quite high.
So if we keep riding this will ride us all the way to the end.
Hopefully everyone's fulfillment. I have personally handled all of our customer service issues, and I think every single person with an open, outstanding issue, it's been resolved. So if you are one of those people that needs help, reach out to me, and I will be happy to take care of it for you. Thank you, K-Love. See? Organic cotton.
Yes, I got you.
It's wonderful. I wear mine all the time. I've got a Fur Missile sweatshirt. What do you mean is that, Sarah?
Copy.
Okay, we're just going across 5 lanes of traffic here. Oh my God, this angle, so close. These cars just to jump scare you out of nowhere. Getting off in the Compton area. We have a fur missile dog collar in the store, I think.
And if you guys are local, you can put on 11. Copy all. We'll be here. Hopefully we'll still have it.
Still going. 710. The 710 will go to the ocean at some point.
If you guys are local,
Take us
turn on
direct.
11.
It's
We're
going to
be
take
on
us
live on Channel
east of
11
Long
out here.
Beach,
That's our Fox
if I'm not
station.
mistaken. We're on the.
Locally,
Is that the 105?
where you're at.
No. Look at all these interchanges. You see the GPS going wild. 105, 710, 10, 110.
What's going on out here.
All roads lead to Downey as that spider web of interchanges approaches and is in the rear view mirror. Still,
Well, Sandra, you know, we're getting into Compton. You know how I love the Compton.
we are
There's a
starting
motorcycle ride
to
that
make
started-
television. They're cutting into the news programs here in Los Angeles. Your Wendy Williams, your Drew Barrymore show are coming off their Days of Our Lives. Here in LA, they will cut into just about anything to show you a police chase. We are starting to make the Legacy Network television shows here. Okay, that is a hard right turn at high rates of speed. Welcome, as you see at the top of your screen, welcome to Downey Norwalk as we have reached Rosecrans Avenue. We're going westbound away from Downey. They're going to change up the lower third here because now we're on television.
Is there anybody behind it? Is this a pursuit? Well, that's the tough one. There is nobody behind him because how are you going to stay behind a bike that makes these kind of moves and drives this fast? That's one of the big problems.
We've got the studio involved in this one too. Is that other Dodge Charger making a U-turn there?
But again, it is
This is
just
too
not
lit to
safe.
pit,
And
too
the
lit to send the ground units and engage in this one. Airship, LASD, Sheriff's Department, still overhead as we are going on and off the freeway here in Downey Norwalk.
They decided, well, we're going to back off and we're going to keep those. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's Sandra?
What is going on?
You know, and this is the thing too.
Did that person, what did that person just take off? Like a necklace? Still driving with one hand. It has a racing number on the front and the back.
But you can see the rider starting to get
Someone said, "Is that a grenade?"
Riding with one arm, with one hand right there.
Huh?
I don't know what that
He's got. He's a fellow.
action was. Now we're coming up on another.
What the?
He's
Handing off something.
Just handed off something to the other driver. They've got two-wheel Dodge Charger in lane number 1 of the 710.
You know what? I'm going to take a stab at this, and somebody's going to say you're wrong. I bet you to say that was some kind of GoPro. I bet you the motorcyclist just handed off the GoPro.
Why would he hand a random GoPro to someone random on the freeway?
We were talking about this earlier because we were on the internet. You know,
What was that?
motorcyclists, But they have the technology now. They can make phone calls with their helmets. Everything is, spoken. They don't need to pull out their phone or anything like that. So maybe this person was making phone calls, trying to get somebody to meet them.
Did he
Maybe
know
there
that
was a
person?
rider That that he knew was going to be there and handed off whatever they just handed off. Again, though, this. Right
I was about to
now
say, is this
doesn't
Sam
look that
Crow?
dangerous, but then when you
Do
look
old
at
motorcycle drivers know each other?
You're going 90 miles.
And now we're in traffic. Ah, zoom out. I can't take the jump scares.
And this is going to end in a bad way.
That's right. Not only for the motorcyclists, of course, Stu, but all the drivers down there as well, not expecting somebody to be a bullet coming past them at 100 miles per hour on the highway.
What?
On a motorcycle.
Ah, more exchanges.
They're trying to engage that car right there, maybe, talking to them.
Yeah.
But you also wonder if there's a GoPro involved, if they're making calls, connecting with another.
What is with this GoPro fascination?
Some kind of stunt.
GoPros are from like 2012.
All those things are very possible. And these are the
Stu, it's 2024.
Just don't know. I was taking a stab at it. It's been a while since.
Ah, foot on the asphalt at 60 miles an hour, just kicking along.
That's a Honda. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure.
I'm just nonchalantly barreling through traffic at 60 miles like it's nothing.
Tags on it.
All it takes is one person just leaning over, and this person's gonna die.
Somebody who's a professional rider on the weekends or does racing, and maybe that's one of the reasons why it didn't stop, because maybe the motorcycle isn't registered and they just don't want to have it impounded. What they're doing right there, very clever. We can't see them right now, but How long you
Is they purposely hiding behind those XL Dodge Chargers so we can't see him?
Going to be one of those Fast and Furious.
How does this person might be watching himself?
Go into one of the cargo containers? I don't think so. I'm very curious what was going on there when we didn't see that motorcycle. For
Please
a few moments.
use two hands.
This rider clearly seems to be pretty comfortable in a very tense situation, which just again just adds to all those questions. Who is this person?
Right.
Why are we still pursuing?
It's like a
Because
scene
lot
out of The
times
Matrix,
we'll hear
man.
Policy and law enforcement will just let a bike go because of the dangers and the high speeds.
That's right, and you said this was in Compton. Are we still in that area now? I see, yes, Compton. And
Yes.
clearly very comfortable, knowing their way, navigating through the highway there.
God,
and definitely
swerving,
through the streets,
swerving.
almost kind of showboating at this point, just weaving in and out of the lanes. And so far, again, the initial pursuit was a response to the speed.
Right.
Speeding is the original want.
You know,
Oh my God, it's so tight. It's so tight.
Law enforcement, especially with a motorcycle, they will.
It's only going to get more crowded. The 710 is going to merge into the 5 at some point, isn't it? Or the 110, the 405. We're going to run into Long Beach at some point, and it just keeps getting more crowded and crowded as we are doing 50 miles an hour through almost standstill traffic.
See it. This motorcycle, very maneuverable, high speeds on the freeway. And any CHP vehicle except another motorcycle would have a hard time keeping up with this bike. Even the motorcyclist, you know, I'm sure a lot of the California Highway Patrol, I know a lot of the California Highway Patrol guys, they are trained at high-speed driving, high-speed maneuvering.
Not like this, though.
Big bikes,
Not gonna stay with the
they are
motorcycle.
Very agile, but to keep up with this high-speed motorcycle that clearly has a race look to it. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, it's got
right now.
numbers on the front and the back.
Very difficult. Looks
Okay,
like
we're getting off.
the freeway, Sandra.
Thank
We'll see
the
what happens.
Lord.
Once we get off here, it says we're at the west side. So we're down in the harbor.
Well, this could be very dangerous, getting off the freeway and
Harbor
at such a
Gateway.
high rate of speed right there, and then
Interchange
now you're thinking about
405 around is
streets,
right around here. Could be
streets.
getting back on the 710 northbound.
I can't get over how comfortable this driver is just going.
This is a
that fast,
professional.
like a rocket past all of these
Zooming.
cars. And again, getting
Straight
off the freeway there on the
zooming.
west side, and now unsuspecting drivers going the speed limit on these surface streets and not knowing or prepared for something like this to just whiz by them.
Definitely. And, you know, this is the thing. I don't think anybody ever is going to intentionally try to harm, you know, a rider, this rider, any rider. But you know, it's just like you said. Nobody's expecting somebody to come by at 80 miles an hour.
Not even looking at the
So
road,
those riders
just looking
will
back.
be, you know, getting ready to make a lane change. And here's that bike in an unfortunate position. Wrong place, wrong time. And there's just a collision, a touch, anything at 90 miles an hour on the freeway on a motorcycle, that could be devastating. So those are the reasons why any kind of these chases are, for me to watch, difficult, you know, at least a little bit difficult. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of law enforcement, they're just saying, you know what, is it worth it? They have to weigh it out. And you can see it. There is nobody really behind this vehicle. There's nobody there. I can do a little bit wider. I really don't want to lose it. That bike very, very fast.
That'd be
moving.
great.
On
Thank
the
you, Stu.
405 freeway. We're in Long Beach now.
Now we're in
And
Long
nobody's
Beach.
behind it as far as
It's gonna
law
swing
enforcement.
around.
Actually,
405's gonna
passed a
swing
couple of them
around
engaged. So,
the west side. It goes
they know
due
this is
west,
going
and it's
on.
gonna hit
Clearly
north.
they have an idea where this bike is, but they're not going to engage because of those high speeds. They are concerned about the driver's well-being and any of the people around them. But that bike continues to make these high-speed maneuvers. There you go. We're going from the far right to the far left to the far right. Not a political term.
I agree with that.
And you
They're
can see it
strategically
right there.
following.
Continuing to move along, high speeds. coming
Sheriff's
to this
Department
corner,
is still, we
coming
see that
back
green and
on
yellow
this-
chopper flying in front of our lens multiple times here.
Oh,
JFail1312 in the chat. 11 months and counting. Appreciate you resubscribing. If you want to avoid the ads, connect your Amazon Prime account, like many have just done so, or you will be hit with ads at some point.
75, 80s, but again, picking up speed to the 90s range, I believe. I can't really see very well. But yeah, still on the freeway. Didn't get off the freeway onto the surface roads at this point, but 87.
One little issue we have is we are approaching LAX restricted airspace as we continue on the 405 northbound. We are not southbound like the graphic says. It's always inverted with these GPS graphics.
There's not a lot of traffic, it seems. seems.
Right now, not a lot of traffic. There's no doubt about that. Right now, not a lot of traffic, and good for the rider. You know, I kind of wonder because, like I said, it started out in Altadena.
Oh, wow.
And why was this person in Altadena? Now, clearly could have been, you know, out there running errands, doing something, picking up the motorcycle for all we know. But now we're up in, you know, coming out of Long Beach, and you got to wonder, is this a destination? Or because it started up there, you'd think that that bike comes from that area. So we are far from the Altadena area. And as far as how long this bike can go, it all depends on how much fuel it has in there. And also, I've been told in the
Right.
past that these motorcycles,
Told you,
even at those
scene of the
high
Matrix.
speeds,
Her hair's too long to be
good,
Trinity
you know,
from the
higher
Matrix,
fuel
but
consumption, they can
good
go for
analogy.
a good 300 miles on
Good
the tank, maybe
analogy.
even more. So this could be going on for quite some time. The CHP helicopter.
Wait, maybe we
that,
are
leaves
southbound.
the
We're in Los
sheriff's
Altos.
ship,
We're
I'm
not.
venturing to say probably
It's
has a
that
full
airport
bag of
area.
gas.
Oh, we might have been.
2 hours in
We
the
might have been when it said
follow this.
airport area. That
But
might have been
rider, you know, the clock
Santa
continues.
Ana.
You've got great skills. You're
We might be
doing
already
this,
all the way down
I'm
there.
not saying that, but you're really taking a lot of chances.
That's
And
OC
every time it
airport.
passes one of those cars at a high speed, I'm just thinking, you know, every time you're getting lucky, one of these times you might not, and I just don't want to see that.
That's right, and let's show everybody what happened just moments ago as we've been following
Or the
this
Long Beach
pursuit
Airport,
along
yeah.
the freeway right here. You see that
One of the two.
motorist, the motorcycle rider, handing off something to the rider.
So many
in
airports,
yellow.
man. So we have
Again, we don't
Ontario,
know what
Burbank,
that was,
LAX,
but you see it right
Long
there,
Beach,
handing
and Santa
off
Ana.
Something to that other
Five
motorcyclist in
five
yellow
airports
on
for the
yellow
Los
bike right
Angeles
there.
metro
So
area.
Clearly, this was unusual, odd situation, and we again don't know what that could be, but this driver very comfortable in this position, being
Yeah,
able
I don't
to
know
do
if that was
that,
John Wayne or
going at a
Long
high rate of
Beach.
speed, and then
The
continuing
first
on,
airport we went by.
going nearly
I think it was
90,
Long
100
Beach.
miles per hour on the highway.
But this rider definitely comfortable on that motorcycle. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
You can
Santa
only go
Ana's so
right with
easy
one
'cause
of
it's
them.
right
And
off the
if you saw
405.
Kirby
I mean, it could
Chubb
not
a
be
moment ago,
any
he actually
easier to
coming up on
access.
Los Alamitos. My pilot mentioning that there's even more cool jets down there on the ramp.
I did
The air
count
show is
Burbank.
this weekend.
Burbank,
But,
LAX,
continuing what we're doing
Long
right
Beach,
here, this
Ontario,
rider, you know, they get fatigued.
Santa
You
Ana,
watch
OC.
this and
That's
you
5.
think about somebody driving in a car, maybe not, you know, not as challenging physically because you're just driving a car. But race car driver might be a little bit different. But when you're on a motorcycle like
Yeah,
this,
we're all the way in
you're
Anaheim
muscles,
already.
and maybe this rider's
Jeez,
starting to
this
get a
guy's
little bit of
fucking
fatigue.
flying.
That's the reason why some of these speeds are slowing down just a little bit. I could almost venture to say that's the reason why one-handed right now, just giving that other hand a rest. But again, just the way they're driving, the movement of the head, that's the only thing we can really gauge by up here because we can't really talk to this person. We don't really know what they're doing, but we can watch those body movements. It doesn't seem very stressed out, doesn't seem to be very concerned about what's going on around him. And when he does or she does look behind, it is very casual. And yeah, you know, as people might be saying at home,
Is this a cloud chase? Someone in the chat is saying this person has a following on Instagram and was at a meetup earlier on this same bike.
This person probably has no clue we're following them. The California Highway Patrol, much lower.
There is a
Wow,
there's a
so,
really
how
popular
many law
IG
enforcement's,
account where it's
vehicles or
a
just
chick
the
driving a
driver? Are they
motorcycle and
following this
she's
person?
completely like blacked
Right
out.
now, it would be one California Highway Patrol.
I forgot what the purpose of the
helicopter
account
and
is, but it would
also
make
us.
sense.
There's nobody on the ground. I was listening in a little bit earlier, them talking about re-engaging, but that's the thing too, Sandra. I mean, how do you re-engage this? How do you pull that off? How do you get a squad car to go 80 miles an hour through traffic? Right now, things a little bit different. But even if they had a patrol car behind it, what is that? What are they going to do? They can't do the pit maneuver. They wouldn't do it
Rasta
to a car.
Mitch on
They're not gonna
IG.
do it with the motorcycle. They can do command
person
presence.
live?
There is something like that where they just kind of like, hey, here we are. We're right here. You need to pull over. That might happen. But for the most part, this motorcycle, with a flick of a wrist, could create a lot of distance between any of the cars on the ground. So if they are getting their ducks in a row, basically they're like, hey, this is where we are, this is where we're going to be. Units that are in the area, they might be ready if this motorcycle gets off the road or something like that.
That's right, and we will continue to follow this pursuit. If you'd like to stay tuned, we are going to switch things over to Fox Digital. Make sure you follow this on foxla.com. For now, thank you so much, Stu and Sky Fox up in the
What do you
air.
mean?
We will now return to Sherry in progress.
No. What? No, we're not done. Thank you.
Sherry, as far as the pursuit goes right now, I was going to put some news on television. You know, oddly enough, there's an air show. Oddly enough, there's a TFR. Oddly enough,
Oh, no.
we're going to have a hard time keeping up with it. We can't go over it, and we can go around.
Oh, no. Not a flight, not TFR, flight restriction coming up.
Right. So, and now I'm hearing that the California Highway Patrol helicopter is giving up as well. So I'm thinking, with the blessing of our assignment desk and my bosses, as they would be, you know, we're probably going to stay with it as long as we can. There's always that possibility this rider will pull off the road, put up the kickstand, you know, grab a cup of coffee, maybe stop at a Starbucks. Who knows? But stay with it as long as we can, and then we're not, and that's it. The wind blowing in this hair. Yeah, that's right, bro. Mark.
Sounds like
That is
we're going to
right.
lose this chase in a couple of minutes as Stu
Anyways,
can't go
we're
south
keeping
of
an eye
the
on
restricted
this,
airspace coming up.
It's one of those chases where this is where we're going to give up, passing by one of those cyber trucks, and we are going to be going a different direction than the freeway. And well, like I said, I'll make an effort as long as we can, but I think more and more we are going to start losing the picture, and this motorcyclist is going to, this is another day he or she might get away. There is no Sky Fox magic. We can't push a button and go stealth and go into the TFR. And also it is the air show one, right, Dylan? Oh, he's talking to somebody.
What are you guys talking about in the chat? You talking about his IG? I don't think he's live. Same bike people are rating his comment section.
Well, I'd like to follow it, Dylan.
I'd like to follow it.
Yeah, I want to stay with it. And he's getting off the freeway. He's over by John Wayne, I think.
His name is Rasta Mitch. He had
Yeah.
a story uploaded 2 hours ago showing his bike.
If he goes south, he's going into TFR. All right, we'll figure it out here in just a moment. Sorry, anybody and everybody, if you guys have got us on the internet. This is, behind the scenes-esque, as it would be. I want to give you guys information. I want to talk to you. I want to let you know what's happening. But I'm also kind of still working in here. And also, just so you know, I am not in here by myself. I'm not talking to voices in my head. Looks like he's getting back
Just
on
off.
the freeway.
All right, off and on the freeway we go.
Making that move kind of did speak to somebody. Who knows what that was all about? I can't even begin to guess that these are planned meetings. I would just say that those are just random. That bike really kind of kicking it back up again, getting up into the triple digits, and is not one of those things you want to see. And in the emergency lane right now, looking behind him there. I don't know if checking for traffic or checking for law enforcement. Doesn't really make any difference. Look ahead of you, buddy. Just look ahead.
Seriously.
Those, crazy
Keep your
rides.
eye on the road.
Triple digits, moving through traffic, quick lane changes, this is end of lens right here for as far as we in Skyfox go. So we can get a little closer with digital. That's it. But it gives you an idea at the distance that the spike is creating between us and the helicopter. We are climbing as well as making our way forward.
Would have been real nice if went on the 405 northbound so we weren't headed towards that
Off the freeway again.
to the flight restriction.
He's busy talking to somebody else, so I'm gonna keep an eye on him. Getting back off the freeway, it looks like Warner, that's what it says on my machine. And definitely taking Warner off the freeway. He's going behind us, Dylan, if you got me. No, you don't have me. Perfect. So definitely going behind us. There's Dutch Brothers. It would have been good coffee. And let's see where he pops out here. Please make a turn. Thank goodness. So we're not getting too far from it. Dylan, you still got me?
Stay with us, Dylan. Okay, we're coming back towards the helicopter now.
All right, looks like we're in a residential neighborhood. Maybe this is coming to an end. Looks like he's parking it. Dylan? He is.
Are we just in a parking lot?
7 o'clock. 7 o'clock.
We're
He
just
stopped
in a parking lot.
behind this industrial area. He's behind
Pursuit trees in the way.
Of course he is. Coming around to 12, and if we can go forward from here, that would be helpful. Maybe he was just late to work. You
That's
know?
it? We're just parking and it's over?
And just wondering if anybody possibly saw this guy pop out someplace.
Got an
else.
LAPD helicopter
Last
over
month
my
I
head.
saw him was get behind the tree, and then the bike kind of just disappeared for me. I don't know if he made a little bit of a U-turn or what.
Probably out of gas. Probably doesn't even care. It's not being followed by cops.
This was one of those
Airship
ones
probably
where,
gave up. It was just stew pretty much. It was a stew
kept us
chase.
alive and safe.
But somehow,
And,
we made that driving look very easy.
More trees, I can't see anything. Can we
Rasta Mitch,
move a little more
supposedly.
forward, or are you working with somebody? I don't know if he's there. If we can see if he's there, then I'll make a decision if we're going to stay or go. Tommy's. He went to Tommy's. Good choice.
Tommy's? What's that?
Okay,
Fast food?
All right, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Oh, he went through the drive-through. He went through the drive-through.
No way he's actually ordering food.
I wonder if anybody else has them. Does anybody else have them?
Did Stu lose it?
What about that other station that we don't talk about?
Huh?
Yeah, I bet you he went through the drive-through and he went back.
Other
out.
station we don't
Gone.
talk about. Who does he...
Gone. He gone.
KCal? It's got to be KCal. Where he came from.
No, not really.
Who's he rivals? Stu? Who's Stu rivals with in the air? They're supposed to be close.
Unless he pulled into the, I didn't know there was a drive-through.
Stu! He ended up losing it again.
Passport. I can't go to Orange County. My credits.
You get lackadaisical, you lose it.
All right, we're done. Yeah. That Stu guy sucks.
The internet is saying that, Stu. The one time your camera stops glitching.
At Tommy's.
Yeah, that Stu guy
This
sucks.
kid.
Yeah, it just went into thin air, I'm sure.
All right, we're clear.
Yeah, this is a code
Hey,
L.
anybody that's out.
Stu lost it. It's a code L. We're definitely not code 4. You just kind of have to wait Stu out, because if he gets bored at some point, he'll start looking at all the other topography of the area.
Any comments? Anything you guys want to say? I'm down. Even if it's like, hey man, you suck. You lost that motorcycle. You know what? I was here too. I saw it. I'm disappointed in myself. I'm gonna go.
Stu.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, Fox is the place to be. You're foxy. Stay foxy.
All right, I've had enough. Grundle of the helicopter means this chase is over. Stu Mundell has lost our motorcycle. Stu's so dramatic. Essentially to get rid of, to lose Stu, you have to go either downtown, because he's terrible with pursuit buildings, or you have to make him bored, because then Stu starts looking and takes the camera and looking at other things. Then he comes back to where you're supposed to be and you're gone. And since there were no other networks over the chase, it's all dependent on Stu, and now that person may still be on the road driving around for all we know. But I'm more curious about the other network that Stu is referring to that he won't say the name of. So I don't know what the answer is, but the leader in the clubhouse has to be KCAL because he originally started at KCAL and he went to Fox. That's my leader in the clubhouse. So it's either KCAL, KTLA, NBC, or ABC. That's it. There's only 4. There's a 25. We can name the 4 networks that are chasing all the time, that are doing police chases. Which of those 4 is Stu enemies with? It better not be NBC. It better not be NBC for a couple of reasons. The first of which is Eliana is the night shift, the primetime shift. Stu is the morning shift. So it can't be NBC is the other network if she's truly if he's rivals with Eliana. She's on completely different times. They never compete anyway. Who is it? Is it Gil Levis? KTLA? Could be Gil. Gil's a little snooty at times. It can't be. It can't be Eliana. I cannot live through I cannot have these two beefing for no reason. The aerial journalist fraternity has to be everyone supporting each other. Yes, they are all in races to get to the chases first because the person who's there first is going to get all the viewers. All the viewers. But a lot of that is more luck and like when they're in the air. And yeah, we prefer certain aerial journalists over others. I mean, Eliana's the fan favorite, but it's not enough that we will switch during a live chase when they're all up in the air concurrently. If it's Gil or Desmond, even Mike Rogers in the studio, Chris Christie with ABC, Scott Reif in the mornings. These are all like starters on this roster, right? But it better not be Stu versus Eliana. We need answers to this. We need to figure out who Stu was referring to when he said does that other network that we won't mention have the chase when he was communicating with his pilot or he was communicating with the producer back in the studio. Unacceptable if it's Eliana, specifically. Now, if it's NBC, the network, that's different. But it better not be an Eliana thing. I'm going to have to go back and watch game tape with Stu now to see if he makes any allusions to certain networks in previous chases. Yeah, y'all saw what happened to the Cavaliers after LeBron went to Miami. That's what's going to happen to NBC's police coverage. Which NBC chase reporter is calling the LA car chase in the Eliana, obviously. Obviously. We can't afford to send Stu Mundell for the Olympic car chasing in 2028 because he may lose it. He's the OG, but Father Time is undefeated. But that was the chase. So that person could still is going to be back on the road at some point because there's no units on the ground anywhere. Stu lost it, so they can't even use the media to locate the damn motorcycle. And I don't know if the sheriff's department helicopter went all the way down to Orange County just to track this thing. So this person's going to get away, is my guess. Yeah, and you have Eliana Moreno who can handle the Telemundo broadcast simultaneously. You only have to hire one person to do it. He didn't go to the drive-thru. He went to the parking lot to the left with the roll-up doors. So Stu was just zoomed in on that Tommy's for no reason. K-Love just gave out 10 Tier 1 subs to the chat. Even after the chase. Some W's in the chat for one of our most generous community gifters. K-Love35, we appreciate you as always, my friend. Especially if you're one of those people that just got one. In here complaining about the ads when it's so easy to solve. You got K-Love carrying you on his shoulders. Could be the real Kevin Love. Who knows? All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this chase. Those of you in here, for some reason, if you don't already follow the account, if you want to be notified of future chases, make sure you turn on your notifications here, as well as in the top left corner at Skywob Alerts on Twitter. Twitch will not allow me to send another notification within 4 hours of the beginning of this one. So if there's a chase between now and the beginning of rush hour, you won't know about it unless you follow at Skywob Alerts on Twitter. But make sure you do Twitch as well. Is tonight? No, tonight's... I had spaghetti with meat sauce the other day, and there was a chase. I got to space it out every 3 days or so. Otherwise, I'm going to turn it into spaghetti with meat sauce. Yeah, I'll have the VOD up as soon as I turn this stream off. Let's go Mets. Feels like the Mets have been in the playoffs for a month and a half, and they're just now getting to the LDS. You're just numb to it. I'm just numb to it. It is Friday. You're right. Friday, it gets a little spooky, especially at the beginning of the month. The first Friday of the month when people get paid is a big police chase night. Would I ever want to be a helicopter reporter? It would be a cool gig, don't get me wrong, and I'm just worried about the safety of helicopters. You increase your chances of death greatly flying around in a helicopter all day. CBC, chases breed chases. That's also true. Rasta Mitch. I'm going to go check out this profile. Supposedly, his IG was Rasta Mitch. If I were to bet, I have the Padres to win. I bet the Padres before the season across the board. I bet them their season win total over. I bet them to win the NL West, which lost. I bet them to win the National League, and I bet them to win the World Series. So I have them at 30-1. I have them at 22-1 to win the pennant. I cashed in big on the season total, win total. I'm spread bet. Mets and Padres are my two futures bets. He's almost at 10K followers. Hey, all you got to do is get on a police chase. It's the easiest way for your IG to go crazy. Baseball's got some great matchups. Padres Dodgers is a war. Phillies Mets is a war. The National League's going to be fucking crazy. It's hard for people not in Los Angeles to wrap their head around like how tense it is here because of this particular series. There's only two teams that LA people actually care about. when it comes to sports. Of all their sports teams, there's only two that matter. It's the Dodgers and it's the Lakers. Oh, he started at 7,200. 1,500 follows. Was he approving people while he was being chased? Just letting them in one by one? Is that why he was only driving with one hand? Steve Traxel. That's a name I haven't heard in quite some time. I dropped Aaron Heilman and Armando Benitez on the timeline last night. You know my main account is so washed because how much I was tweeting about MLB and the Mets in, 9 years ago? Yeah. I mean, my account was practically a Mets account 9 years ago, and nobody, those people either don't follow me anymore or Twitter is just so fucking dead that people don't care. But my Mets tweets from back in the day, maybe a couple people remember that are watching the stream right now. But this used to be like an MLB only account for about 9 months. But now it's just fucking NBA cookie cutter content. He deleted the picture of the bike he was on today. That's funny. I still, you know what? I was speaking of those Mets, all those Mets memes that I put into the world. Up until a couple of years ago, I still saw some of them getting recycled. I put so many Mets memes into social media that just have been part of its circle of life all of these years. And I went back, I was scrolling up my phone. I'm like, are any of these still relevant that I could drop and maybe someone will recognize one of them? But no, they're all like Cespedes, David Wright, Daniel Murphy. It's just been too long. And the people that followed me then are not following me now. It's still his profile picture. The bike is still on his saved IG stories. His phone must be going crazy. Stunright says, I know this is mostly police chasing, but you should co-stream the tornado coverage in Oklahoma. So that was actually what I wanted to do when I went to college. Was I went to school to be a meteorologist, and I wanted to be a storm chaser. That content is amazing. Those people on the ground, I can't believe how good the quality of those streams of the storm chasers, how they're able to get a signal like right next to a tornado like that. They make it look good. It feels like you're watching a movie. Yeah, in another alternate world, I love that stuff. But the main account that's the super popular storm chaser, they've gotten so big that they have different people throughout Tornado Alley in the United States. So they've got someone in Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, and if there's a tornado on the ground, they can get there like instantly. One person, if I'm hanging out in the middle of Nebraska and the storms are up and down the Great Plains, I can't get to Oklahoma unless I drive like 12 hours and the storm's gone by then. Is that his name, Ryan Hall? Yeah, that guy is. I'm not jealous, but I'm envious of how he built that niche, because that was what I would have gotten into if it wasn't for the NBA. But I'd be saying if I was doing that shit and then like I should have gotten into the NBA, I'd be saying the same thing if I did storm chasing for 12 years like I've done the NBA. No, the real content idea is doing like driving. There's some streams that you just drive around Los Angeles. You're in like Hollywood. You put a camera on your dashboard, and you're just joyriding around and just showing people shit that's going on. You could chase crime. You could put a scanner in the car, and like if there's a fire at a house, you roll up to it. So you can do your own news network that way. But there's so many accounts that are doing that right now. It's the storm chasing. It's the storm chasing account that is just above and beyond. White Knuckle drove through some bad storms a few months ago and finally tapped out. Yeah, you can't do that. Find an overpass and park underneath it. I think I've done one of those in the past, but they're using multiple satellite networks and LTE networks to get those live videos out. Yeah, that operation at this point, they have to be using Starlink, I assume. Their trucks that they're driving, those things are not only tanks, and they cost 6 figures minimum to build what they're driving around. They're hooked up with like mobile hotspots. Those things have to be worth $250,000. The investment that they've made into being able to chase storms with the quality that they do. They do, yeah. It has to. The only answer is Starlink. Is the only way that they get that shit done. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Driving by just people, random people on the street. When you're sitting at home on a Friday, people are used to watching Cops and live PD, and those are off the air, for the most part, unless you're subscribing to those particular subscriptions where they've gone. People love live crime on Friday nights. It's always been one of the most popular shows on television, and Cops was the most popular show on cable for decades before they canceled it. So people love live crime ride-alongs, and it doesn't even need to have a crime going on for people to be watching because they're anticipating something coming. So yeah, those things do a ton of views for sure. Well, yeah, OP Live is Live PD. It's the same thing. They got canceled too. When all that shit went down with George Floyd, they got rid of Cops. They got rid of Live PD. It was getting too hot in the kitchen for the network executives. Anything else before we go? All right, my friends. Till next time.